Thursday night game, Packers and the 49ers. Packers opened at -6. It's now up to -7, have pretty much 80% of the money, almost 70% of the bets. The 49ers are missing their entire team at this point. They just put Trent Williams, Brandon Ayuk, and Deebo Samuels. Not that I thought Deebo Samuels was going to play anyway. They all got put on the COVID list. We know Jimmy G's out. We know Greg Kittle's out. George Kittle, he's out for a couple weeks. I mean, I honestly don't know. Mostert's been out. Jeff Wilson's on the IR. I guess Jerick McKinnon's legs are still a little tired from those runs he had 4 weeks ago. How is this game only -7, especially with that much action going in on the Packers right now?
Yeah, it's funny because it had kicked down to 5.5 yesterday, and I was actually on Deep Dive Fantasy Football podcast yesterday with Brandon, our friend who came on the Win Daily Show. Yeah, it's actually his podcast. I don't know that he put it on Twitter, but the reason I bring that up is because I was talking about the Niners in an upset. I was saying, we all think we know everything about these teams already, but I just kind of trust Kyle Shanahan, and I don't know that I trust the Green Bay Packers, and I think we could see an upset here. But now there's no way I can pick an upset. I mean, it's like, for 4 quarters, one thing I will say, what is the total in this game? What's the over-under? It's 49.5. Oh, I would absolutely hammer the under there because the one thing the Niners have going for them is a defense that's getting healthier and healthier. And what they do and what they tried to do against Seattle somewhat successfully for a majority of the game was keep everything underneath. This cloud coverage, kind of like a safe, not a prevent type play, but I don't know that the Packers are going to be able to just move the ball downfield super quick. And I'm absolutely positive that Kyle will be working his run scheme. Whether it's probably be JaMychal Hasty, a little bit of McKinnon, and whoever they might bring up from the practice squad, who will probably have like 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I was going to say you or me at this point. I mean, I feel like we could run behind that scheme. It's been ridiculous.
But I mean, it's going to be like a full, Ross Dwelley, maybe Jordan Reed, Trent Taylor. Like they are going to have to keep the passes like 10 yards and in. They're going to have to try to run on 1st and 2nd down. And so I actually love, I know we're not talking totals necessarily, but I love the under here. It looks like it's down to 48.5, which totally makes sense. To me, this would be, and I hate to start the show with this, Michael, because it's kind of like that sucker bet I always talk about, but a Packers tease with the under makes so much sense here because you're getting, let's say you do a 7-point tease, or let's say you do 6.5. So you get that line down to a 0.5 point, but then you kick it up to 55. Which is actually you could kick it up to 56 and take the under. I like that play, but I agree with what I think you're going to say, which is at this point, as much as I like Kyle Shanahan, I got to go with the Packers here.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult. One thing I will say, and I don't think I buried the lead, but the Packers don't have a healthy running back at this point either. So as much as it's very, very confusing, I think it's going to be really difficult for the 49ers to score. But I think they're going to do it. Honestly, if it wasn't for everybody then getting put on the COVID list to yesterday and today, I 100% would have been on the 49ers. The 49ers played the Packers twice last year, and they made them look stupid. So I think that is still very much in play. Probably not going to put any money on it, but +7, even though I don't think the 49ers are going to be able to score that much, we just saw Dalvin Cook and a useless Kirk Cousins just run all over them. And I mean, it's pretty much the same run scheme. I mean, we'll need Nick or Stobie. Maybe you know a little bit about it to tell us exactly how that works, but I still would probably lean to 49ers +7. I wouldn't be surprised if that starts to tick up a little bit too. So if that gets over 7, if that gets to 7.5, hey man, it might be worth a little sprinkle.
It'll probably get to 7.5, but the one thing that's a little worrisome, I'm talking about the Niners kind of scaling back the offensive playbook. Well, Trent Williams is out too, like you just said. So it's, you got your left tackle out, when I don't know, it's just it's going to be tough for them to survive over 4 quarters with Mullins back there as well. So I mean, but to your point, it's just Dexter Williams and Tyler Ervin back in the backfield, but you got a healthy Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Alan Lazard might come back, probably not. So you got Marquez Valdez-Scantling and a bunch of guys, Shepard, Tanyan. That's probably enough. I don't like this line at 7, but to your point, if it's 7.5 or 8, I'd probably lean the Niners. But honestly, I like the tease more than anything. I hate to say it.
Yeah. You hate teases too. You hate them, but you always have one every week, and that's what I appreciate about you, Sia. That's what I appreciate about you.
Yeah, it's fair. I don't usually bet the teases. I sometimes suggest them on this show, but normally I'm just going straight up, and that ends up working for me. So
hey, you've been doing your thing, and we appreciate the heck out of you. If